Okay?
Yes, just give me 2 seconds and you can start.
Okay, right.
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधि साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् Hari Om, everybody. I think we were on to the 30th verse. Do you want me to recapitulate the earlier verse? 29th verse?
Yes, Nana.
Okay. 29th verse was kind of very dear to Bhagavan Ramana, I believe, because it says, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayastitaha Ahamadischa Madhyam cha Bhutanam Antayeva cha. That is the essence of that Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Atma Gudakesha. Kittaya is saying, I am Atma in everybody. Hey Gudakesha, I am Atma and reside in all beings, and the very beginning, middle, and end of all beings. Arjuna was addressed enhancing his self image as Gudakesha, which means one who has a degree of mastery over the sense organs. This also means that one has a mastery over sleep. This verse is in response to Arjuna's query as to in what all he could see Bhagavan and what all are his glories. In one shot, Bhagavan said that he is everywhere and that he is not only Atma but obtains in everything and in every being as Atma. That means what all we see is Atma. What all we see is Bhagavan. There is no other. We are devoted to Bhagavan. Then why do we have likes and dislikes in respect of persons that we come across? Are they not Bhagavans? Then where is the division? Vibhakti. Vibhakti is division. Bhakti is the opposite. When we pray to Him, it is with bhakti, devotion, or at least required to be with bhakti. How then has this vibhakti caught hold of us? That is because we take what is said in the Gita as a bit of information and not an injunction for our good. Readers of the Gita, even after understanding this verse, if they constantly practice vibhakti, then they might as well give up the Gita for good and read some other miserable newspaper which gives a lot more information. In order to include the requisite Shraddha and Bhakti in us, there are some beautiful invocatory verses to the Gita, one of which reads thus: Mukam karoti vachalam panghum langhayate girim yat krupa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. Meaning, I salute the embodiment of happiness, Madhava, whose krupa makes the dumb eloquent and the lame cross a mountain. Bhagavan further said that he is the Jagat Karanam, Aham Adistya Madhyam cha, Bhutanam Antayeva cha, that he is the sustainer and also the Layakaraka, that is, he is the cause of dissolution as well as the evolution. When Bhagavan is saying that he is the very beginning, middle, and end of every being, then where is the difference in the beings? Why do all of us see this vibhakti? Where is the need for hatred, malice, jealousy, anger? Why is the attachment only to some? Why not get attached to all and enjoy the happiness born out of the equanimity? Why not live happily thereafter? The reason is that we are not yet qualified for the task. That is because of our Purva Janma Samskara. And that only drives the thoughts that we entertain second to second. We do not really know what the mind will think the next second, but it thinks. What it thinks is driven by the Purva Janma Samskara. The need is Shraddha, together with a pure mind and a discerning intellect. We must take refuge at the feet of Jivan Muktas like Bhagavan Ramana, to whom this verse 29, chapter 10:20 was very dear. Now, we go on to, unless you people have any questions, we will go on to this 30th verse. This is from 11th chapter, 54th verse. 54th verse means this is the penultimate verse of the 11th chapter. Bhaktya Svananyaya Shikyah Aham Yevam Vidhodjuna Jnatum Drashtum Cha Tatvena Praveshtum Cha Parantapa. Arjuna, with unflinching devotion, it is possible to know me thus, see, and in essence enter. Enter means merge with me, like the wave merges with the ocean, knowing that it itself is the oceanic water. This verse talks of both bhakti and jnanam, thus perhaps indicating that the difference between unadulterated bhakti and jnanam is either only apparent or very little. Bhagavan said thus in the first line of the verse: it is possible through ananya, meaning Avyabhicharini. Ananya means not having any other, no other, non-wavering bhakti. I can be thus known. Okay, I can be, wait a minute. I can be thus known means that the Virat Swarupam of Bhagavan till then shown to Arjuna upon his request. That form has already clearly shown that Bhagavan is Sarvagataha everywhere, Sarva Antaryami, the indweller of everyone, and Sarva Shaktiman, all powerful, also Sarva Bhutatma, Ahamatma Gudakesha, like that. Virat Swarupam has shown to Arjuna the entire universe with all that would happen in the universe, like Sarga, creation, Sthiti, sustenance, and Layam, dissolution. Bhagavan had also shown to Arjuna what would happen in the war. All the principal warriors of both the armies were struggling in between the teeth of Bhagavan. So many worlds were shown, together with all their inhabitants, like the Devas, Siddhas, Radhyas, Raksasas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, etc. But Arjuna did not see himself in the Virat. He has excluded himself from the Virat. Thus, there was a division in Arjuna's mind. The Vibhakti was there, himself and what he saw in Bhagavan. Okay? Dvaitat bhayam bhavati. In the presence of Vibhakti, division, fear happens, and Arjuna was frightened. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Udaramantharam kurute adhatasya bhayam bhavati. Even if you make an iota of difference between you and what you have seen, drushya viveka, between you and what you have seen. Druk is you, drushya is the entire jagat. If you make a minor difference also, Udaramantaram kurut. Antaram means difference. Udara means very minute. Adhatasya bhayam bhavati. Even if you make that minute difference between you and what you have seen in the Jagat, adhatasya bhayam bhavati, then that person will be stricken with fear. Meaning, whoever makes, sees even the slightest difference in what is perceived and what all we see is indeed Atma, then that person is smitten by fear. The same Upanishad proclaims that whenever an aspirant gets established in this unperceivable, bodiless, inexpressible Brahman, then that person becomes fearless. Adhatasya bhayam gato bhavati. When that happens, when he does not see any difference at all, he, the Druk, and the Drishyam Jagat, he does not see any difference. And in the Drishyam Jagat, he sees himself. Sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadashinaha. And for that samadashinaha, adhatasya bhayam gato bhavati. Bhayam as though has gone away. As though has gone away means what? Bhayam has no existence by itself. Unless you entertain it, it is not there. But Arjuna was overtaken with fear owing to lack of appreciation of Atma. It is clear thus that Arjuna and all of us required this. It is clear that Arjuna required this all-inclusive jnanam. Arjuna required this all-inclusive jnanam, and which includes all of us. That is why Bhagavan mentioned it along with bhakti. This is yet another verse liked by Bhagavan Ramana, for whom Bhayam was a stranger. Bhayam was a stranger, really. Okay, next verse. Any doubts? Okay. Now we are going to the Bhakti Yoga, 12th chapter, the 15th verse. यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षमर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः. By whoever people do not get agitated, whoever is not agitated by people, whoever is free from elation, impatience, fear, and excitement, such a person is dear to me. That means, in short, a person must be constant in the Druk Swabhava all the time. Druk Brahma Drishyam Mayeti Iti Vedanta Dindi Maha. Druk Brahma, Druk, that is a seer. You are Brahma. Druk Brahma, Drishyam Mayeti. Drishyam is the entire Jagat. The entire Jagat is Mayodbhavam. Iti Vedanta Dindimaha. This is the clarion call of all Vedanta. Now, whoever people do not get agitated, whoever is not agitated by people, whoever is free from elation, impatience, fear, and excitement, Such a person is dear to me, Arjuna. Starting from the 13th verse of this chapter till almost the end, 19th verse, Bhagavan spelled out the lakshanas, characteristics of the bhaktas who are dear to him. In this verse, a quiescent bhakta is presented. The lakshanas are those of a jnani. If we want to be in the august company of the dear ones to Bhagavan, we must strive to live this verse. Do not trouble the world. Do not get troubled by the world. Get rid of the propensity for elation, impatience, fear, and excitement. It seems easy to appreciate what is said, but how about an effort to live this? Okay? Acquire those qualities, a lot of effort, discipline, and perseverance are needed. Endowed with these unshakable commitment and devotion to Lord, it is indeed possible to render oneself dear to Bhagavan. That is how Bhagavan Ramana conducted himself in his mortal coil to become dear to Bhagavan, and the verse became dear to him. Thus ends the message of part 3. Part 3 is what? Part 3 is a second shaka. From the 7th chapter till the 12th chapter, that is the second shaka. So part 3 has ended. Thus ends the second shaka, 6 chapters of the Gita. The message of part 4. Part 4 message is starting from the Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Any doubts thus far? If none at all, I'll go forward. I would as further request all of you, if you have any doubts, you kindly project it on the screen. It will be easy for me to pick your doubt instead of concentrating on what you are saying with my faculty of hard hearing. It becomes rather difficult. I would request you please project it as a kind of a text. Even if it is a handwritten text, provided the hand is readable, it is okay by me. The message of part 4, the verses 32 and 33. 13th chapter is the Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, like the Drushya Vibhaga Yoga. Okay, 13.2 and 13.3. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramichya vidhiyate etadyo veti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. O kaunteya, this shariram is said to be the kshetram. The knower of this is said to be kshetrajna by those who know that. Who know that means who know tat. Who know tat. Tat means what? Kshetrajnam. And Tat is qualified by Bhagavan in the second chapter. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayorapi drushtoantaha, svanayoho tattvadarshibhihi. The tattvadarshibhihi is very nicely qualified by Bhagavan. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate iti kopi manyeta, whoever knows. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate. For Sat, there is no non-being. Asataha bhavaha api na vidyate. For Asat, which is apparent, which is maya janitam, which is not druk, which is drushyam, it is not kshetram, it is not kshetrajna, it is kshetram. Iti kopi manyeta, that person is the tattvavid. O kaunteya, the shariram is said to be kshetram. The knower of this is said to be kshetrajna by those who know tat. Continuing, Bhagavan says, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. Hey Bharata, know me to be the Kshetrajna in all the Kshetras. What other clarity can Bhagavan give? Can Kitaya say something more clear, something more endearing to us? He is saying he is in you and I. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. You are the kshetra, I am the kshetra. In these kshetras, he is the kshetrajna. He is saying that. My opinion is jnanam. Opinion is jnanam. Is that which knows kshetra and kshetrajna. That jnanam means what? Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam. Yat tat jnanam iti matam mama. This is my opinion. Arjuna wanted to know. In the first verse of the 13th chapter, the import of 6 items. These are, like I said, in some texts of the Gita, the 13th chapter started with the question by Arjuna. The question reads like this. Arjuna said, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva, Kshetram Kshetrajnyamev cha, Etadveditumichhami, Jnanam Jneyam cha Keshava. That is what Arjuna made an inquiry of Bhagavan. Arjuna wanted to know the import of 6 items, 6 terms. These are Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetram, Kshetrajna, Jnanam, and Jnayam. Among these, Prakriti and Kshetram are synonymous, and so too are Purusha and Kshetrajna. Bhagavan in this chapter starts his teaching with Kshetram, mentions a Mahavakya. And what is that Mahavakya? Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. That is a great Mahavakya. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi aham brahmeti vijanati. Like that. Mentions Mahavakya and gives the gist of Jnanam through verse 3. Covers Jnanam and Jnayam elaborately and finally winds up with Kshetrajna. In verses 13.2 and 13.3, we have a couplet of slokas in both of which the terms Kshetram and Kshetrajna are embedded as though they are mutually complementary terms. Because Bhagavan said, Idam Shariram, this body, in the second verse, we have to provisionally, though, take it as a human body, which is considered to be Khalu Dharma Sadhanam, the very means for all dharmas. As per the Shastra, it is only through the human body that self-realization can be attained. This is for whom? Is it not for the indweller of the Kshetra, the very Jiva, the self-realization for the ignorant? Who? Oh, wait a minute. Because Bhagavan said, Idam Shariram, the body. In the second verse, we have to provisionally, though, take it as the human body, which is considered to be the Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. As per the Shastra, it is only through the human body that self-realization can be attained. This is for whom? Is it not for the indweller of the Kshetra, the very Jiva? This self-realization is for the ignorant. This is for whom? Yeah. Is it not for the indweller of the Kshetra, the very Jiva? This self-realization for the ignorant Jiva is nothing but the rediscovery that the Jiva is indeed the Kshetrajna. And this is possible by proper deployment of the implement, the body, the idam shariram, for accomplishment of the desired objective, the attainment of kshetrajna. In the second line of this verse, Bhagavan deftly portrays the knower of this kshetram is kshetrajna. Thus say the tattvavidaha, meaning the meaning would be, in this context, the knowers of Kshetram, and another meaning will be, perhaps can be either the knowers of Tat, Sat, in the Mahavakya Tatsamasi. Bhagavan, through verses 13, 6 and 7, elaborates the constituents of Kshetram, all of which are the products of Maya or Prakriti, and as such Asat. 13, 6 and 7 are what are the verses? महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्च च इन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेषसुखं दुःखं सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत्क्षेत्रं समासेन. All this indeed is kshetram samasena. In brief is mentioned. Okay, so 13, 6 and 7 elaborate that. The constituents of kshetram, all of which are the products of Maya or Prakriti, and as such, they are asat. The above two verses lead us to the meaning of idam shariram, the microcosm, as indeed idam jagat, the macrocosm, or the entire universe, which includes the bodies of you, I, and all other bodies too. Okay? Essentially, there are only three things. Idam, this, jiva, Ishvara. Idam is jiva. Ishvara or idam jagat. Tvam tat. Tvam is jiva. Tat is Ishvara. That asi bhavana, if that is developed, you are Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. Thus, the three things can be said to be Jagat, Jiva, and Ishvara, or simply Jagat, Tvam, and Tat. But as per the Shastra and the Gita, the Jagat is Asat. Nasato vidyate bhavo. 216 is that. Further, the Gita, especially the third Shaka, teaches the identity of Tvam and Tat. For example, verses 7:18 and 13:3. 7:18 and 13:3, what do they read? 7:18. 7:18, yeah. Udara sarvaye vaite jnane tvatvaiva me matam tasahi utatma mamaevanuttamam gatim. That kind of a jnani knows in reality what is the tat. And 13:3 is what we're covering now. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Thus, if we dismiss the idam jagat, which includes our shariram as asat, and equate tvam with tat. See here, these are mere words. If we dismiss the idam shariram, which includes us as asat, if you dismiss, what kind of dismissal is that? You care so much for the shariram and you identify yourself with the shariram so much that you love the shariram so much to the extent of hatred towards all others. What kind of dismissal is that? It's not mere words. It is absorption of the words and making an effort to live those words, live that absorption. Okay? And equate Tvam with Tat. Then we will be left with only the Jiva, who is none other than Ishvara. The process of neti bhavana, not this, not this. Okay, negating what all Atma is not. Neti iti vakyataha. Vidyadaikyam, vidyadaikyam, jivaha brahmayeti. Vidyadaikyam, jivaha brahmayeti. Iti vedanta dindimaha. Neti iti bhavana. not this sequence of negating what all we are not. Properly thinking and assimilating such knowledge would help understanding who we really are. And this indeed is the propellant for self-inquiry. That seems to be the import of the next verse, which has the Mahavakya, Kshetrajnam Chabhimam Vidhi, Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. In this context, in this verse, Bhagavan mentioned two very important things. He is the Kshetrajna, the knower of the Kshetra in all the Kshetras. The knowledge of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna is indeed Jnanam. One of the six queries of Arjuna were that. Arjuna queried, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva, Kshetram Kshetrajnameva cha, Etadveditumichami, Jnanam Jnayam cha Keshava. I want to know what is Jnanam and what is the Jnaya Vastu. All these were queried by Arjuna. So Bhagavan has answered that. Kshetras may be the human bodies, the animal bodies, the bodies of all other species, the mountains, the rivers, the oceans, the space, the air, the fire, the earth, or even the earth-like other heavenly bodies, planets, the suns, stars, galaxies, in fact, anything that is visible, cognizable, or even vaguely imaginable. All these become the kshetras. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. All the kshetras are asat. All the kshetras are asat. And as such are dependent, like even the dream depends on the dreamer, and as such negatable. In your dream, have you not been the kshetrajna? And in your dream, have you not created a lot of kshetras? And in all the kshetras, were you not there? In all the kshetras, you were there, and you can proclaim in your dream state, Kshetrajnam Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. You can also claim, because in all the kshetras you were, and you were the kshetrajna in all the kshetras, right? So that is what is the burden of Ketaya's teaching here. All the kshetras are asat, and as such are dependent, like even the dream depends on the dreamer, and as such negate. Jagat is negatable. Kshetras are negatable, not the kshetrajna. Whereas the kshetrajna, the knower of the kshetras, is independent, and though obtaining in all the kshetras is one, which is the truth. The kshetras are perishable, while the kshetrajna is unborn, ancient, beginningless, everlasting. One way of getting it. See verses 216 through 25. What are those 216 through 25 verses? Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayorapi drushtantah, tvanayos अविनाशितु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यशोका शरीरिणः अनाशिनः etc. All those verses beautifully covered by the Gita Upanishad. Gita Upanishad, the chapter 2 is kind of Gita Upanishad. The kshetras are perishable, while the kshetrajna is unborn, ancient, beginningless, and everlasting. One way of getting rooted in this knowledge is to compare and contrast kshetra and kshetrajna all the time, assimilate such knowledge, and contemplate on the import of the teaching thus. That becomes the manana. Contemplate on the teaching, provided you remember that. And for you to remember that, you must keep on constantly studying the same thing. One way of getting rooted in this knowledge is to compare and contrast Kshetra and Kshetrajna all the time, assimilate such knowledge, and contemplate on the import of the teaching does. Okay. Kshetra, Kshetrajna. There is a table which says here, this is the left side is the Kshetra, this is the Kshetrajna. Compare and contrast. Okay. The Kshetras are many and varied, like you and I, like the mountain, the river, like, like the sand and the desert. The Kshetras are many and varied. The Kshetrajna is one and invariable, indivisible also. Kshetras are asat. Asat means what? Bhavaha na vidyate. Asataha bhavaha na vidyate. There is no being. And the Kshetrajna is sat. Sat abhavaha na vidyate. Kshetra is apparent and dependent. Dependent on what? The, Maya is dependent on Brahma. And Jagat is Mayodbhavam. So Jagat is dependent on Maya, which is not independent, which is dependent on Brahma. So Kshetra is dependent and it's only apparent. This Kshetrajna is real and independent. Kshetra is perishable. My request is don't simply take these words and try to understand the meanings. You try to live those words. Kshetra is perishable and perishable Kshetra. My God, how much we care. This perishable Kshetra, we care so much. We should care because Shariram Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. To the extent that Dharma Sadhanam Shariram is required to be preserved, you must. Not beyond that. Okay? Don't develop excessive love to the Shariram. Perishable. The Kshetrajna is imperishable. Kshetra is born. And what is born is what? Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuho. Dhruvam janmamrutasya cha. This is born. And both beginning and end. Not both beginning and end. And Kshetrajna is unborn, beginningless and everlasting. Najayate, unborn. Najayate, namriyate va kadachit. Na ayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha. Ajaha, nityaha, shashvataha. Puranaha, na hanyate, hanyamane sharire. In the Gita-upanishad, then Kshetras have unique qualities and are various. Kshetras have unique qualities, like you and I, who have unique qualities. You have a different height, I have a different feature. Okay? My height is different. Your weight is different, my weight is different. These are all unique qualities. Your thoughts are different, my thoughts are different. Certainly, these are the qualities. Kshetras have unique qualities and they are various. As many kshetras as you can imagine. This kshetrajna is quality less and one in all kshetras. Kshetra is destructible. And Bhagavan said, Avinashitu tatvidhi. That Avinashi is for the kshetrajna. Yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasya na kaschit kartumarhati. Kshetra is destructible. Kshetrajna is indestructible. Kshetra is jadam, inert, and no cognition of own existence. It does not know its being. This is Chaitanyam, the witness and the awareness, Kshetrajna. Then, always changing and agitated. This Kshetram is changing and agitated. How do you know? Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptihi dheras tatra namohyati. Always changing. Asmin dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. All these things are happening. All these things are changes. Whereas Kshetrajna is changeless and Shantam. When you were an infant, you were the Kshetrajna. When you have become a youth, you are Kshetrajna. When you have become middle-aged, you are Kshetrajna. When you have come to the old age, you are Kshetrajna. When you are nearing the end of your life, you are Kshetrajna. When the very life has ended, also you are Kshetrajna. So it is changeless and Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. Then this is Parichinnaha, limited in space and time. Your body is only in one place. If you have started from Bangalore and come to Hyderabad, you are not in Bangalore. You are in between Bangalore and Hyderabad. Parichinnaha. You are not Sarvagataha. Whereas this is Aparichinnaha. Sarvagataha, all pervading and limitless. Okay, Anantaha. Netra is the object, the illumined. Netra is the object, like the sun shows the illumined Jagat in the morning, which you could not see at night because of darkness. It is the object which is the illumined. Kshetrajna is the very subject, the very illuminator of all. Okay? And Kshetra is the samsari. Kshetrajna is the witness of the very samsara. Kshetrajna is the witness of the very samsara. And Kshetra is kinchijnaha. Kinchijnaha means, kinchit means a little. Kinchijnaha. Jnaha means knowing. He knows very little. He knows a little about his nose, his his, his body, how it is growing old, what troubles it is giving. It is time to visit the doctor. Kinchijnaha. Ajnani, ignorant, kshetra. Whereas this is sarvajnaha, all-knowing, jnani, omniscient. Omniscient is what? All-knowing. There is nothing yet to be known. Okay? And the list can be endless. The knowledge that helps make clear, unambiguous, and doubtless distinction between the kshetra and kshetrajna, and also the knowledge that helps root one in the kshetrajna is considered to be the jnanam by Bhagavan. The one who gains this jnanam is also considered to be none other than Bhagavan. Jnane tvatpaiva me matam. In the seventh chapter, तेषां ज्ञानेन च युक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोच्चर्धम् aham स च मम प्रियः. That kind of thing. It is little wonder that Bhagavan Ramana, the Jnani, like this couplet of verses as part of Dwichatvarimshat. Now, can we go forward? Verse 34. This is
Yes,
again
sir.
from the 13th chapter, 28th verse, almost the end of the verse. समं सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं विनश्यत्स विनश्यन्तं यः पश्यति स पश्यति. See, yah pashyati sa pashyati. This kind of a thing is there in second chapter also. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayorapi drushtontaha, stanayoho tatvadarshibhihi. Whoever sees that clearly, that sat has no non-being, asat has no being, ubhayorapi antaha drushtaha, tvanayoho tatvadarshibhihi. Same thing is here. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatya vinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati. Parameshwara, not destructible among the destructible, resides equally in all. Whoever knows this is the seer. It is as though Kshetrajna is renamed as Parameshwara, the Supreme Ishvara. Prefix Param to Ishvara may be poetic excellence. It is Now, good to recall the verses 217 to 18, which essentially state that understand that Tat, which pervades everything, is acceptable. अविनाशितु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यशोक्ता शरीरिणः अनाशिनः अप्रमेयस्य तस्मादुज्झस्व भारत. Those are the 217 to 18 verses. They said, those verses said very clearly, Avinashitu Tatvidhi. The Tat is the Kshetrajna, which is indestructible, which is everlasting, that the only thing that is, and its being cannot be negated. It is Sat. Ataha Abhavaha Navidyate. All those things are included in those verses. It is now good to recall, etc. Okay? While the indweller of the bodies is everlasting, indestructible, and is the very subject. Parameshwara, the Kshetrajna, being one and invariable, resides equally in all. Okay? Did I miss some? Is everlasting. I did not. Okay? Kshetrajna is indestructible and is the very subject. Parameshwara, the Kshetrajna, being one and invariable, resides equally in all. Ishvara or Kshetrajna, who is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. This Satyam Jnanam Anantam, this triplet is kind of borrowed from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. It is the Taittiriya Upanishad, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That is Satyam, that is the truth, that is true. Jnanam, it is of the nature of Kshetrajna. Anantam, it is everlasting. Najayate, Namriyate, Ajaha, Shashvataha, Puranaha, all those things. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Sat, truth, Chit, Jnanam, and Anandam, Anantam, both are same. Can only be one, indivisible and invariable. This is so because any division or multiplicity in Ishvara will not only render Ishvara as Parichinnaha. If Ishvara is divisible, what? It becomes like one of our vegetables which can be cut. Ishvara becomes a cuttable vegetable, which is parichinnaha. The vegetable you have cut, it is no longer available in the form in which it was before you started cutting, is it not? So Ishvara becomes that. If he is parichinnaha, Ishvara will not only render, this will not only render Ishvara as parichinnaha limited, which contradicts the very Ananta Swarupa of Ishvara, but also renders Ishvara as Asat. Ishvara, knowing, all knowing, or limiting the other Ishvara, and as such, one Ishvara becoming an object for the other Ishvara, and hence both becoming objects which are perishable, and as such Asat. You know, did you understand this? Supposing you have got the you got an Ishvara, which is Parichinnaha, another Ishvara who is Aparichinnaha. Who is greater? This Parichinnaha Ishvara is greater or Aparichinnaha? Parichinnaha Ishvara is like you, but you have got Jananam, Maranam, Samsaram, whereas the Aparichinnaha Ishvara, Najayate, Namriyate, Kadachit. How do you equate this and that as one? It is simply not possible. That is the import of that. Okay, that taparya. Then, yeah. Consider what is said in Dwichatvarimshat verses 33 and 34. 33 said what? Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. 34th verse said what? Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram. Both the parts of the above verses state the same thing. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi and samam sarveshu bhuteshu. I am available as the Samavastu in all the bhutas. Kshetrajnam chapi Mahamedi is the same thing. Thus, the essential oneness of everything that we see, cognize, or imagine in a nutshell, the oneness of the essence of the universe, which includes all of us. It is beautifully portrayed in the above verses. Despite this, we foolishly entertain such evil qualities like misplaced ego leading to vanity, pride, jealousy, hatred, anger, and their derivatives, which are all products of just two things, raga, dvesha, which are in turn the products of ajnana. So, what is required is jnana to elevate ourselves the state of Parameshvara. If only we convert the raga of everything else to Kshetranya or Parameshvara and the dvesha of everything else as though to the world of objects, then our lives will have been fruitfully lived and we would have a chance of rediscovering the Bhagavan in us. Bhagavan Ramana lived a life untouched by raga dvesha and as such was fond of this verse. Okay, he was fond of this verse. Then verse number 35. Verse number 35 again from the 13th chapter. 13th, 33rd. यदा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशं नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तदात्मानोपलिप्यते. Like I said, I am not reading the English. I have read only Yadha Sarvagatam. Afterwards, the sloka is kind of available to my memory. I've been I have been recalling from my memory and reading this. Okay, I do not know whether somebody can substitute the Sanskrit verse in respect of this Dwichatvarimshat side by side the English transliteration. It will be easy for people to read and understand. Just as the all-pervading Akasha, owing to its being subtle, is not tainted by what it accommodates, so too Atma, which pervades all bodies in all their states, is not tainted by what Atma pervades. Yada sarvagatam saukshmyat. Saukshmat means sukshmatvat, because of its subtle nature. Akasham na upalipyate. Sarvatra avasthito dehe tadatmanopalipyate. Just as the all-pervading Akasha, owing to its being subtle, is not tainted, so too Atma, which pervades all bodies in all their states, is not tainted. The one sun is reflected differently in different parts of water. Did not? The parts may be differing in size, material, beauty, value, and the like. Further, the parts may contain different qualities, qual- quantities of water, and based on the above parts and their contents, the reflections of the sun could be various and varied. This does not in any way affect the sun and taint it. So too, the Akasha, which is all pervading, beginningless, and endless, and which accommodates everything, including all of us in the universe, is not tainted by what it accommodates. This is a very strange thing. This is what a very strange thing Kataya has given this faculty to all of us. We appreciate that there is Akasha. We also appreciate Akasham as Drishyam. And what is Drishyam has got a beginning, a middle, and an end, generally. Generally. Whereas this Akasham, we do not know its beginning, we do not know its middle, we do not know its end. Adi Madhyantarahitaha Akashaha. Is it not? And this Akasha is one of our thought. Atma, which is Kshetrajna, which is I, is aware of this Akasha. What is aware of becomes the Drishyam. And this Drishyam is Adimadhyantarahitam. This is a wondrous thing. This is a wonderful thing given to us by Ketaya for us to keep on contemplating. A, the mere Akasha, which is a product of your thought. If it is Adimadhyantarahitam, what to speak of me? I am the Kshetrajnam Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. This is how Kitaya is trying to lead us to the thoughts of the higher. This does not in any way affect the sun and taint it. So too the Akasha, which is all pervading, beginningless and endless, and which accommodates everything, including all of us, including the thinker. Is it not? Including the thinker is in Akasha and accommodates everything, including the thinker in the universe, is not tainted by what it accommodates. A dark object cannot render the Akasha dark, neither would a brilliant object render the Akasha brilliant. A lame person cannot make Akasha lame, neither would a sprinter render it faster. Akasha does not move because of its all pervading nature. There is no room for it to move. The fragrance of the flower cannot make Akasha fragrant, neither sewage waters render Akasha foul. The tiny atom cannot make it any insignificant, neither would a neither would Neither would a massive galaxy render it expansive. A massive galaxy cannot render it expansive because the massive galaxy also is included as part of Akasha, which is Anantam. In like manner, Atma, Kshetrajna, or Parameshwara, which obtains in all bodies, Kshetras, in all in all the states of being, is not affected or tainted by the qualities of the bodies or kshetras. Atma remains in its glory as ever, like even Bhagavan Ramana, to whom this verse was very dear. I think we are coming to the end of the road. We will open this 14th chapter tomorrow. Okay, this is part of the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Okay, I am finding it difficult to read this. Mana Oh God. This became very difficult for me to read. Manapamanayostulyah tulyo mitrari pakshayoh sarvarambha parityagi gunatita sauchyate. Who is Gunatita? Was the question by Arjuna, and Bhagavan is Kitaya answered this, and Bhagavan Ramana appreciated this verse, and that is how we are discussing this. We'll do this tomorrow, okay? All right. Any questions? Also, we will address tomorrow before we start. And like I requested, please post your questions in text, which will be easy for me to digest. Okay. Om सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम एवरीबॉडी
Hello, Nanaji. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaji.
हरि ओम
Mhm.
Jai Gurudev. Let's close our eyes and reflect on all that we have understood. Meanwhile, Bela, can I request you to share the screen?
Yeah.
If you're able to. If you're able to do it.
We started from verse 30, right, today?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, shall I chant the verse? Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya aham evam vidurjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa.
Arjuna, with unflinching devotion, it is possible to know me thus, see and in essence enter.
यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः.
By whoever people do not get agitated, whoever is not agitated by people, whoever is free from elation, impatience, fear, and excitement, such a person is dear to me.
इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तत्विदः. क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम.
O Kaunteya, this Shariram is said to be Kshetram. The knower of this is said to be Kshetrajna by those who know Tat Kshetram. O Bharata, know me to be the Kshetrajna in all the Kshetras. My opinion is Gnanam, is that which knows Kshetra and Kshetrajna.
समं सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं विनश्यत्यविनश्यन्तं यः पश्यति स पश्यति.
Parmeshwara, non-destructible amongst the destructible, resides equally in all. Whoever knows this is the seer.
यदा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशान्नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तदात्मानोपलिप्यते.
Just as the all-pervading Akasha, owing to its being subtle, is not just as the all-pervading Akasha, owing to its being subtle, is not tainted by what it accommodates, so too Atma, which pervades all bodies in all their states, is not tainted by what Atma pervades. I think that was the last.
Actually, Nana started from verse 29 today. Just recapitulated that. Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayastitah. I don't remember the second line. That is from the 10th verse, 10th chapter, I suppose.
Here it is on the screen, Brahmaraji.
Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayastitah Ahamadischa Madhyancha Bhutanamanta Evacha.
O Gudakesha, I am Atma and reside in all beings. I am the very beginning, middle, and end of all beings.
So here it was very beautifully brought out, as in this is almost like a Mahavakya, because Bhagavan is proclaiming that he is the Atma in every being. Aham Atma Gudakesha. When this is so, how come we have this vibhakti? How come we have this differentiation that we see? That springs forth from the ragadvesha. That springs forth from ajnana. If you remember the three knots, the fundamental knots, avidya and avidya, kama and karma. From there springs forth the ragadvesha then. And so the whole journey is about subduing this ragadvesha, seeing samam sarveshu bhuteshu, seeing that Atma in everyone. The Atma in me is the same as the Atma in everyone. So when we come to that state, then we are kind of untying that knot.
Hariom Brahmaraji, that is that Hriday Granthi which we were
Yeah,
talking about.
Hridaya, correct. Hridaya Granthi. The Jiva is tied in that, isn't it? He is actually the Tattvamasi. That is the truth. But how come we are not able to see that? We see differences only. We see different. We see you as different from me. So what is that makes an enlightened being like Ramana Maharshi or Gurudev or anyone who is enlightened? How are they able to not see the difference? How do they see the sameness in everyone? Because this fundamental knot is that avidya is dispelled by the sword of knowledge. And what is this knowledge? Kshetram, in very beautifully in the 13th chapter, the knowledge of the kshetrajna is the difference between the kshetra and the kshetrajna. That is the knowledge. And that beautiful tabulation where the difference between the kshetra and the kshetrajna, I think that if we keep going back to, we understand. The same thing as Nirvana Shatkam, the same, what is kshetra, what is kshetrajna. The changeless, unchanging entity that is all pervading. That is the truth, that is kshetrajna. There is everything else that we can see and perceive, cognize, even imagine remotely becomes the kshetra. Problem is we get so caught up in the kshetra, we lose cognizance of the kshetrajna, that is the truth of every being. That is the sad paradox of human life.
Is it the same like Maya and Brahman and seer and seen?
Yes. I'm just reminded of what Gurudev's, what knowledge he gave in yesterday's satsang about the four Aishanas, Aishanas, Vitteshana, Putreshana, Jiveshana, and Lokeshana. How we get so caught up in this. And all our life we are either following one or more of them. Either
Today
we're
Nana
after.
also said, "Na, you are so Vichinna, you are Hyderabad, you are where, everywhere you are."
Right. Isn't it? I mean, what else Krishna is saying with so much of he's giving us that surety. Array, I am the one in each one of you. We just have to open our the awareness and stay rooted in that knowledge. That, and when that becomes so clear, then we don't see a difference. Then there is no bhaya. There is nothing. When you see only one, where is the question of fear? The bhiti becomes no bhaya. Again, it is similar to Spandakarika, where you and I are different in so many ways. The kshetra is unique. Each one has unique features and is different if you look at them. Whereas the kshetrajna is the same, no matter what. So that special vibration and the ordinary vibration. The special vibration is the whole of the Jagat that we see, that Idam Jagat. Each one is different. An amoeba is different from bacteria, is different from a virus, different from a mountain, river. There is so much of vibhakti there. But the one thing that is running in and through is the one that is unchanging.
Today Nanaji has spoke that shloka of the Panchakam, Maya Panchakam, Dhruv Dusho, what that some is there, no?
Mm-hmm.
So everything is like a drushya only.
And I think the last verse that we did today was about the space, about how, just like how Atma is, you cannot find the beginning, middle, or the end. Similarly, space, also you don't have a beginning. And in it, that last paragraph was so beautiful, wherein it is so similar to the description of Atma. Whatever happens in space, whether it is good, bad, or whether it is nothing, space is not affected. In it, everything happens. Request everybody else also to share their understanding.
We get so much lost into the scenery and that in the Dwight, this thing that means most of the times our experiences are limited up to our sadhana, and sometimes even in sadhana also some people, some situation, something is going on in the mind. So really not that very easy to be in that all the time. द्वैत में ही चलता है सब कुछ. Our dreams also, our waking state also, everywhere through and through, Dvait Bhav is so predominant. Jai Gurudev. The best part is every morning with so much enthusiasm we come together for this with equal zest. Not even one day we felt ki jane do, today we will avoid it. So that shows that somewhere there is this thing in all of us that we really want to be in that wisdom and the knowledge. So that is so beautiful longing.
This is what Shankaracharya has talked of in his Sadhana Panchakam, where he says, Swadhyaya, you must, you know, every day you should read the scriptures, do some Swadhyaya. And I think this will ultimately build for each one of us that samskara within us that will help evolve. I think in the very beginning when Nana was talking about why this vibhakti, how come we're not able to see the indivisible one in everyone? And how come people like Ramana Maharshi were able to? The difference, I think, is in the sadhana, it's multifactorial. It's not just one, maybe. Ultimately, it is one. It is through the sword of knowledge that you recognize your true self. But to build it up in order to be capable and eligible to do that, I think all of this is important. Coming to the Shastra, reading the Shastra, doing this manana, nididhyasana.
I would like to read that two shlokas. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu, vibhaktamiva cha stitam, bhutabhrut cha tadneyam, grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. Jyotishamapi tajyotis, tamasaha paramuchyate, jnanapneyam jnanagamyam, hrudi sarvasya vishtitam. That chapter 13, 16 and 17 shloka was this.
Which chapter?
Chapter 13.
13.
Today Nanaji spoke about that 16 and 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can also read the meaning, if you have the meaning available.
It's a different book, but I will read.
Yeah, it's okay.
Though integral like space in its undivided aspect, it appears divided as if there in all animate and inanimate beings. And that God ahead, which is the only object worth knowing, is the sustainer of beings as Vishnu, as destroyer as Rudra, and the creator of all the Brahma. And the 17th, Jyoti Shamapi Jyoti. That Supreme Brahma is said to be the light of all lights and entirely beyond Maya. That God ahead is knowledge itself, worth knowing and worth attaining through real wisdom, and is particularly abiding in the hearts of all.
Which is true, no? See, the body as such, the body, mind, equipment, has its being in Atma. Whereas without the Atma, this is nothing but an empty shell. If the body is enlivened, it is because of the Atma. So it comes into existence. Jayato, whatever is born has to die. So this is like a bubble which was not existent. It came into being, it exists for a while, and then it gets destroyed. But the essence of the bubble is nothing but the Atma. And our bodies, individual bodies, and the whole Jagat for that matter, it comes into existence, stays, and then it gets destroyed. We just have to shift our attention from this changing Jagat to the unchanging entity. That is when we get the highest security. Problem is we keep our security in everything else except that. Like Gurudev said, we keep our security in money, in bank balance, in the real estate, in our belongings and relationships, people, and so much attention on the body. Whereas true security lies within.
What point I got today was that uh, from Kshetra to Shretragna, why we cannot move is because ultimately it amounts to Raga and Dvesha. Unless we have that under control, we are not able to realize the Kshetragna. And I correlated it to one stanza from the Brahmavali where Swami Dayanandji was explaining that our unfulfilled desires are the cause of pain, intense pain. And this intense pain gets embedded in our subconscious. And then it manifests as anger. So raga, dvesha, and I just, so ultimately, when you go to the root of it, it is unfulfilled desires.
Yeah, so beautiful. And the reason for this desire is ultimately it's avidya. Avidya because you don't know your true nature. You think you are alpagnya, kinchignya, you need security, you need to fulfill this and that, not knowing that we are the supreme, we are the one. Because of that avidya, we get caught up in this karma and kama. And from kama sprouts in everything else, all the shadripus come up.
Yesterday, Gurudev mentioned in the satsang also, no? One person shared that the colleagues spoke behind her back ill of her. And on the
Mm,
face, they are goody goody with her. And
mm.
Gurudev said, that's life. That's how people are. You learn to accept them. Why do you trouble your mind about what other people think about you? You know what you are. That was so well explained by Gurudev yesterday.
Yeah,
You can't change the world, just you remain in your by doing your sadhana seva satsang.
he said you should also be diplomatic. Yeah. Jai Gurudev, is anybody, my computer is not working so well today. Belaji, can you share Maya Panchakam if you don't mind? If it's possible, or anybody else who can. We'll close the session today.
Jai Gurudev Brahmaraji, I can share, but again, the same, I will try to share.
Okay, let me see whether I can do it from my mobile. Don't worry. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
निरुपमनित्यनिरंशकेऽप्यखण्डे मयि चिति सर्वविकल्पनादिशून्ये घटयति जगदीश जीवभेदम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया श्रुतिशतनिगमान्तशोधकानपि अहह धनादिनिदर्शनेन सद्यः कलुषयति चतुष्पदाद्यभिन्ना न घटितघटना पडीयसी माया सुखचिदखण्डविबोधमद्वितीयम् वियदनलादिविनिर्मित्ते नियोज्य भ्रमयति भवसागरे नितान्तम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया अपगतगुणवर्णजातिभेदे सुखचितिविप्रविडार्यहङ्कृतिं च स्फुटयति सुतदारकेहमोहम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया विधिहरिहरविभेदमप्यखण्डे बत विरचय्य बुधानपि प्रकामम् भ्रमयति हरिहरविभेदभावान् घटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया
You were able to hear the Maya Panchakam?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Jai Gurudev.